Hey travelers, today I want to talk to you about the new COVID PCR test that is being required prior to boarding flights back to Canada for Canadian citizens. The interesting thing is with all the flights that are happening, this is probably going to take about $6 or $7 million out of Canadian pockets and putting that money into foreign countries because we're going to be paying for these PCR tests in destination. It's unfortunate that the government didn't decide to simply expand the current trial that they're doing at Calgary Airport or the proposed trial at Toronto Airport, where they're basically doing rapid testing upon arrival and a proper PCR test 4 to 6 days later to reconfirm. Of those, by the way, about 1.5% of people who've returned have been positive. It makes certainly a lot more sense than having people in destination go and seek an appointment to try to get this done before they board the plane to come home, at a cost of anywhere from $75 to $350 US in Cabo. So for a basic family of 4, once you convert that into Canadian dollars, it's about $1,800. So that's a pretty big hit. And I mean, look, I know we need to expect the unexpected if we're going to travel during a pandemic, but that's a pretty big hit. And where I say this $6 or $7 million, where that's coming from is, look, if we just look at WestJet, and they've got 20 flights to Mexico per week, based on their current schedule through till February 4th, and they've got about 12 flights to the Caribbean. I didn't even calculate in flights to the US because I presume that you would be able to find a place where you could get a test for free, but that could add exponentially more money that's going out of our economy and into another countries. So if you take a look at all the different locations and what their cost per COVID test is, you multiply it out for just WestJet alone, that's $2 million. But that's not factoring in, as I say, flights to the US. It doesn't take into account any flights that are happening right now with Air Canada. And certainly Air Canada has got a lot more frequent flights from Toronto, Montreal to sun destinations. It also doesn't calculate in flights with Sunwing or Transat. So, I tripled the number. It's actually probably a lot higher. So maybe it doesn't make sense for that money to then be being spent elsewhere. Let me know what you think. If you agree that we should be trying to get the rapid test in instead, which, by the way, would also potentially lead to not having to do the full 2-week quarantine. Because just to be clear, despite the fact that you might have a negative PCR test when you get tested in Mexico before you board the plane to come home, it doesn't mean that you can avoid the quarantine. You still legally have to do that. But if we did the rapid testing trial and turned that into the way we test people, maybe we could reduce it. I mean, maybe we could bring it down to 3 or 4 days until you get that second test done and you get the result. And 3 or 4 days is doable, especially with all the lockdowns that we've been doing. So let me know what you think. Please comment down below, and don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe so that you don't miss out on future videos. And we'll see you on the next one.